Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen. Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman kathiran kathira. My dear brothers, sisters, children, I want to say two things to you. The first thing I want to say to you is that it is in the nature of the extraordinary goal to inspire extraordinary effort. I want to repeat that. It is in the nature of the extraordinary goal to inspire extraordinary effort. And the second thing I want to say to you is that it is the nature of the dream to be impractical. The second thing I want to say to you is it is the nature of the dream to be impractical. Now, a practical dream is an oxymoron. So if you have a dream and somebody says, oh, but this is not practical, it is supposed to be not practical. Oh, just put it on the side now. Here, on this. Here. Put it on this. So therefore my question to you is, what is your dream? What is your goal in life? I want to tell you three stories. The first story is about a man who was imprisoned for 27 years. He was imprisoned on an island which is a rock in the middle of the ocean. It's called Robben Island. And on Robben Island is a prison. That prison has no fence around it because the ocean is the fence. And South Africa has some of the finest shark protection and shark repellent technology because it has some of the finest sharks. And this man was imprisoned on this island for 27 years. Now we know that this is 27 years today, but when he was sitting in that prison, he did not know it would be 27 years. He was in there for life. And while he was there in this prison, he carried a dream in his heart. And that dream was to free his people from slavery. The strange thing about this dream is, the man was dreaming about freeing his people from slavery at a time when he could not even guarantee his personal freedom. A very impractical dream. A second story. There was a man who, while playing football, he must have been about maybe 17, 18 years old, he suffered an injury to his neck and he became paraplegic, which means that from his neck down, he was paralyzed at the age of 17 or 18. After that, he went on to become a Shaykh. He went to Al-Azhar, he qualified, he became a Hafiz Quran, he became a Shaykh. And he started a humanitarian organization to help his people, to take care of their needs, to give them medical aid, to give them economic aid, to give them food and shelter, to give food and shelter to those whose homes were demolished by the invaders. And for doing this humanitarian work, this man was imprisoned again and again. And in prison he was tortured because it is very easy to torture a person who is paralyzed. And he lived through all of this, but he never gave up his dream. And then at the age of 67, on the 2nd of March, 2014, when he was coming out of the masjid, meaning that he was being wheeled out of the masjid after Salatul Fajr, the man is paralyzed, but he plays Salatul Fajr in the masjid. he was murdered, he was killed. But you know what they had to use to kill him? 4 Hellfire missiles fired from an Apache helicopter. Now you might say, why do you need so much of firepower to kill one old man in a wheelchair? Because dreamers don't die easy. And dreams do not die at all. Because that man's dream is in my heart. And that man's dream is in your heart. Which is to free his people from slavery. And my final story goes back in history to the 7th century, where a man stood alone, nobody with him. He stood alone on a hill and he said, "Qulu la ilaha illallah tuflihu." He said, say la ilaha illallah and be successful. His dream, which he carried in his heart, was to take this message of la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah to every home, permanent or temporary, on the face of the earth. Did he see that dream in his lifetime? No. But did that dream come true? Yes. Because whether anyone accepts La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah or not, nobody on the face of this earth can say that they never heard it. The message has reached. To accept or not accept, there is no compulsion. La ikraha fid din. Qad tabayyana rushd min al-ghayy. So my question to you is, what is your dream? My brothers and sisters, people do not rise to low expectations. People rise to high expectations. And that is why it is important to be idealistic. When you are idealistic, many things will happen to you. People will try to discourage you. People will tell you, become realistic. People will tell you, this goal cannot be achieved. This dream is too big. You will never find the funding for it. You will never find the support for it. Nobody will believe you. Nobody will accept. Don't believe any of them. Do not believe any of them, because the one on whom you rely for the dream to come true has treasures without boundaries. He has power without boundaries. He can do whatever he likes. يَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيَحْكُمُ اللَّهُ مَا يُرِيدُ. That is his shan. And therefore, we rely only on him and him alone. And what must we do therefore, as a single individual, as someone who in himself or herself is powerless, but who has this great dream? What must we do? We must do our part. And to explain that, let me tell you a story. A true story written by the writer and poet Lawrence Isley. Lawrence Isley said that he had gone to a beach resort for a holiday, and one night there was a huge storm. And next morning he said that when he came out for a walk on the beach, he saw the beach was littered with all kinds of debris from the sea. And in that debris, Lawrence Isley said, I saw literally thousands of starfish. Thousands of starfish all over the beach. Lawrence Isley says, as I was walking along the beach, I saw in the distance a small boy picking up things, something from the sand, and throwing it in the ocean. He said it was almost like a dance. He would bend down and lift up and bend down and lift up, and he's picking up and throwing into the ocean. Lawrence Isley said, when I got to the boy, I saw that he was picking up starfish and throwing them into the ocean. So Lord nicely said, I asked the boy, I said, what are you doing? The boy said, I am picking up these starfish and throwing them into the sea because otherwise they will dry out, and when they dry out, they die. So I am throwing this starfish into the sea so that it will live. Lord nicely said, I laughed at him. And I said to him, just turn around, look on this beach. How many thousands of starfish are on this beach? How many millions of starfish are on this beach? And think about this. How many storms happen in a year? How many millions of square miles of beach is there in the world? How many millions or probably billions of starfish are being thrown on those beaches? You are one little boy. Here, you are throwing this starfish into the sea. He said, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? Lord nicely says the boy had a starfish in his hand. He looked at me, he threw the starfish into the sea, and he said it made a difference to that one. He said it made a difference to that one. Lord nicely said, I walked away, and after going some distance, he said, I turned around, and I came back to the boy, and I threw starfish into the sea with that boy for a long time. So my first question to you, my first statement to you was, it is the nature of the extraordinary goal to inspire extraordinary effort. My second statement was, it is the nature of the dream to be impractical. My third statement to you is, do your part to the level of excellence. Failure is the friend of success. Mediocrity is the enemy of success. Because when you accept mediocrity, it takes away the pain of failure. You feel this is good enough, but it's not good enough. Failure does not change to success because you have an excuse. Excuses do not change reality. And therefore, if you are feeling the pain of fear of failure, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say Alhamdulillah. And then work to ensure that that failure doesn't happen again. And always remember, no matter how small you are, no matter how powerless you think you are, there is always one to whom you can make a difference, and that is to yourself. And so that's why my last question to you is, what difference do you want to make? I thank you very much for this opportunity to address the assembly in Al-Amaanah. It's a great pleasure, it's a privilege to see all of these young ones here. And mashallah, all the work that they did, the skits and so on, show how aware they are of reality and how committed they are to ensuring that this country becomes a great country. And I wish you all the very best, and I make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He should preserve and protect you and use you in order to make this nation a hallmark and a standard for nations across the world, and to make you standard bearers of Islam, and to make you standard bearers of Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jazakumullahu khairan. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka Allahumma wa natubu ilayk. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shaykh Mirza is someone we've known for some time. We've had a relationship with him. I think last year, sometime in August, he came here and he gave us a leadership training. And honestly, ever since, we've had some sort of relationship with him in terms of sharing of knowledge and many other things that he tends to do with us. So we always look forward to his visits. You know, he's a very knowledgeable man, and especially with our children, we like them to meet people that are role models that can impact their lives. Like what he said today, his talk today, I thought very enlightening. It's something that children can take home, and also the parents. Today, this afternoon, we're having a session with the parents, and it's all about discipline and how we can help raise our children in a better society. It's an interactive session, and honestly, it's something we're really looking forward to. It's not easy to arrange all these things, but well worth it. Honestly, the message was excellent. It was right on target. It's just what we need to hear. I wish more people can see this, because I think when it comes from children, it's lighter, it's easier for people to take. As adults, when an adult keeps talking on the TV, they're always saying, don't rig elections, don't fight, don't do this, don't do that. But when it comes from children like this, honestly, I think it's easier. And the message was right on track. It was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic. And I wish more people could see it. I think it will help.
You are beautiful.